Hi everyone, it's Christopher, Mono County Library Director and co-host of the Oxygen Starved podcast, and I'm back with two great library recommendations for you, one new and one old. Today I'm taking us back to the very dawn of moving pictures. You know, these days we take movies and TV and even TikTok for granted, but it was only a few generations ago that moving pictures were that magical new thing, taking the world by storm. My pick for the new this week is The Man Who Invented Motion Pictures, A True Tale of Obsession, Murder, and the Movies by Paul Fisher. This just came out in April to rave reviews. The description says, the year is 1888 and Louis Le Prince is finally testing his taker or receiver device for his family on the front lawn. The device is meant to capture 10 to 12 images per second on film, creating a reproduction of reality that can be replayed as many times as desired. And in an otherwise separate and detached world, occurrences from one end of the globe could now be viewable, with only a few days' delay, on the other side of the world. No human experience, from the most mundane to the most momentous, would need to be lost to history. In 1890, Prince was granted patents in 4 countries ahead of other inventors who were rushing to accomplish the same task. But just weeks before unveiling his invention to the world, he mysteriously disappeared and was never seen or heard from again. 3.5 years later, Thomas Edison, Le Prince's rival, made the device public, claiming to have invented it himself. And the man who had dedicated his life to preserving memories was himself lost to history until now. Now, in addition to giving us the history of this amazing invention, Fisher illuminates that darker side of the notoriously competitive Thomas Edison, positioning an idea that while historians have generally accepted that Le Prince must have committed suicide, the truth may just be a little more sinister. This title got multiple starred reviews. It's paced like a thriller, not unlike the nonfiction works of Eric Larson. It also brings me to my older pick for the week that came out about 15 years ago, The Invention of Hugo Cabret by Brian Selznick. Now marketed to kids, it is the only novel to have won the Caldecott Medal for Picture Books. This is a title that appealed to adults as well and was ultimately made into a movie by none other than Martin Scorsese. It also tells of an early French inventor, Georges Méliès, who was one of the first to use the technology of moving pictures to create movies with storylines and special effects. He was immensely influential and his films played around the world, but he ended up destitute near the end of his life, running a small candy and toy stand in the Montparnasse train station, the main setting for this book. He was rediscovered in the years before his death and was given due credit for his influence on filmmaking and special effects. What I love about this novel is that it's not just about filmmaking itself. It has more to do, in fact, with wind-up figures called automata that Méliès also worked on. The protagonist is a young boy who ends up orphaned and surreptitiously maintaining the clocks in the train station of Montparnasse in the 1930s, stealing from the shops to eat. Through a young girl, he connects with the Papa Georges who runs a toy shop in the train station. And without giving the plot away, there is a connection between the boy's dead father, the automaton, and Papa Georges that is revealed through the story. Now, what captured so many readers' imaginations is this format, half narrative, half pictures, moving you through at a pace that is cinematic in and of itself. In this way, Selznick is not just telling a fast-paced story, he's paying homage to early filmmaker Georges Méliès. This title also came out to rave reviews, and if you haven't read it, I strongly recommend it. Now, this style of writing is somewhat of a trademark for Selznick. Last fall, he came out with his newest book, Kaleidoscope, and it is, again, a masterpiece of matching narrative with a very visual medium. Both are available at the library, as is The Man Who Invented Motion Pictures. Stop and grab one of these or another book that will inspire you. In the meantime, happy reading and happy summer.